Anime review, ding. It's time for the review of Plundered. Like, comment, and subscribe. In the world of Alicia, governed by the count, numbers that are engraved on a person's body representing any number related to their life. These counts determine a person's social status and power in Alicia. If a count reaches 0, the person is sent to the abyss, a place rumored to be worse than death. Hina, a traveler whose count is based on the distance she travels, witnesses her mother get dragged down into the abyss. Determined to fulfill her mother's last wishes, she sets off on a journey in search of the legendary Ace, heroes of the war that happened 300 years ago, bearing a white star next to their count. While wandering around, Hina encounters Lich Botch, a mysterious masked man with a negative count, and Nana, the owner of a tavern. In the midst of having a good time, Hina is tricked into battle with a military soldier. However, despite his negative count, Lynch rescues Hina and reveals that he has another count, one with a white star, one of a legendary ace. Plunder follows the story and journey of Hina and other inhabitants of Alicia as they discover the truth about their world, the abyss, and the legendary ace. This anime has about 24 episodes, premiered January 9th, 2020 to January 25th, 2020. It is based off a manga series. It is action, ecchi, fantasy, shoujo. Each episode is 20 minutes per episode, and it's rated PG-13. Will say, going into this anime, there was a lot going on as for like the plot, the story, the characters, and like the whole premise of this world. When it comes to world building for anime, it has to be concise and clear as what the audience is actually getting into when they dive into in the anime world. For me personally, since I am an author, I want to make sure I world build properly for my novels. But getting back to this anime, I feel like Plunder itself is a lot of mysteries rolled into one, especially with the characters themselves, because I feel like when you go into ecchi is fine, I'm going ecchi is fine, but when there are certain things that are crossing the line in the first episode, especially when the two main characters meet, without giving too much details away because there's no spoilers on this channel, I feel like with Plunder, it just all the story wasn't as clear as I hoped it would be, and it wasn't as well developed as I thought it was going to be when going into this anime. And I feel like if your world is governed by numbers and you lose and you gain them, and there's a constant if you reach 0, then that's worse than death, that I've explained in my summary before. But I feel like with the food layout in the story, like how food is presented and how like it's counted by that, and the mysteries that are apparently being resolved in each episode in this anime as you watch it, I feel like there's still a lot of things that we aren't given a full answer to in this anime, and I feel like overall the story just seems to be one big whirlwind of, did you really catch the true meaning of the story or the whole premise of the anime? Because I feel like when I overall watched it, I was still left with a lot of unanswered questions, and at some point there was a serious off themes of multiple cooking competitions or drinking competitions between certain characters, and others were just fighting, and the fight scenes were, don't get me wrong, the fight scenes were top-notch good and impressive, and some characters were OP than others, and some characters you were just like, why do you have this much power? But you know, in any other anime, anarchy, and other characters and protagonists and antagonists, they're just gonna have OP power, and that's all it is. And I feel like for some of the characters, especially the legendary ace and the Lynch character specifically, I feel like you could have given him a better role than him just acting like a pervert in the first episode, and then him wearing a mask and him having a negative count along with a higher count with a white star. I feel like you could have fleshed out his character just a little bit more, by understanding why you did what you did, because of the twist at the end and the phosphorus that we are seeing given in the series as a whole without giving too much away. I feel like this story is a big clouded mystery as to what the true theme and overall key resolve of the story was in this anime. And the characters, I feel like some of them were just drawn to be very overdeveloped than others, which is not bad, but I'm like, if you're gonna give me a show with ecchi and really overly drawn proportion women of anime, I don't need it. But to help the story flow, maybe. But also the twists that they throw in here and there to convey the happenings of Elisa and the twist that they brought into the series as a whole, I feel like they could have done it better. I feel like they could have fleshed out all the characters just a little bit better than they did. The art style was nice. I appreciate, the nothing seemed to not too fluidly, not too boring out of the forefront everything was like comprehension with each episode, and I feel like with each episode being like 12 episodes, no, not 12, 24 episodes within the 20 span time period to watch everything, I feel like you get a little bit of each character that you are like faced with, especially with Hina, the Lynch, and the other patrons that help along their journey, and other people who are either against them or for them. I think you get a little bit of how they're trying to survive in their world that is governed so heavily with numbers, and how it just overruns them either with fear or confidence, and how you have a higher ranking, how it's higher than others, and where that places you in the social ladder climbing up, and who you look down upon, who you look up upon because of their authority, especially with the military in this anime as a whole, because they heavily use a good amount of military control in this, where that'd be good or bad depending on how you pick it. But I feel like the enjoyment overall was not what I was expecting, but also I could also see as it would be a different way already from the manga standpoint, because the manga can very differentiate from the anime itself when you're converting it to, from manga to anime, and insert like a whole lot of fantasy elements in here that I feel like could have been not needed. I feel like a lot of plot holes weren't as clear as could have been brought up better in the manga itself, which I probably will have to read in the future. I will say, other than that, the voice I think was a good job, and the soundtrack and the intro and outro were lovely. I just wish the story and the script was a little bit more cleaner than I was hoping. I really wish that they just like tone down the edges a little bit and just focus more on what these numbers truly represent, each and every person that we came encounter, which they did. Don't get me wrong, they did explain some of the counts for each person. Like for Hina specifically, she counts the distance she travels. For the bartender, she counts, how many people say her food is delicious, vice versa and all that, which is fine. But also, is there a limit to what people can reach? Is there not a limit? Why is it so bad for people when they reach 0, they get into abyss and nothing else? Are they not given like a second chance? Or that's automatically like their death place, and that's how they control the population in this anime? I need answers. But and the way to get more answers is to read the manga, because the manga gets more details. It explains it just a little bit better than the anime. Maybe because I was really left confused at the end of it, especially with the twist that they have in this anime. I'm not giving away because, spoilers, we don't do this on this channel. Overall, I feel like this wasn't a bad anime. I just wish some plot holes and tendencies were filled in more properly than left out. I just feel like I just stumbled into a big, and I mean a big, like, mystery than I expected to go into when I first started this series. If your triggers are, not fan service or sexual harassment, I do not recommend you watch it if those are your triggers. But if you want to just like speed through the first episode, just get past that one part that you feel uncomfortable with, I'm fine with that. I don't want animes to be triggering to anyone. I want everyone to enjoy anime, and if something triggers you, then don't watch it. If you can skip forward past that part, that's great, and then you can able to enjoy the rest of the anime. Overall, I just wish Plunderer was well written out more, and I wish I could have get a better rating than I did. It was a 6.5 out of 10. I feel like if they want to revamp this anime as a whole, they can. I just feel like if they do that, just flesh out the story more. I feel like when I entered Elisa, I basically learned that you just govern by numbers. You better the number count, the better your chances of survival. The lower your count is, you're basically sent off the chopping block in the bottom of the barrel in the dog-eat-dog world. It's kind of sad. And I just feel like with the two main characters that we are given in the show, I feel like I just wanted them to be fleshed out more than just a girl looking for these legendary warrants that happened over 300 years ago, and she has a slight encounter that she meets one of them. He just tends to be a pervert behind a mask, but not really. But I just wish they just fleshed the characters out more, that were like I could have more of a genuine connection with them than I thought I would. But that's just me personally. I might give it a second chance, because I might rewatch it again. I'm not sure. It depends if I'm willing to get through the whole script of watching the story play out as a whole. Other than that, I just think that it could have been shaped better as a series, and maybe the characters were fleshed out. I feel like I didn't have any connection to any of the characters as I would like to have to been connected with, just to like some of their struggles or obstacles that they face in their way. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I just didn't connect to any of them because they didn't really stand out to me as a whole. That might be because someone different, when they watch this series, they might connect to some of these characters. Who knows? But That's my review on this series as a whole. Plunderer was great overall. I just wish that these characters were fleshed out, and I wish the main character OP wasn't the sword and its high count to begin with, because it doesn't make sense to me. That makes sense to people who created it. So hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up to let me know that you loved it. Please let me know if you have any other anime like to recommend to me in the comment section below, or what anime you want me to review next. And I would appreciate it if you subscribe, hit the subscribe button for more content, for more videos, and for more content coming soon in the future. And I will see you soon. Until then, bye!